All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome on back here this Monday, September 21st, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, right back for our afternoon meeting. For all of us inside our trading room, and of course, all of us tuning in on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube, welcome on back. Let's get a quick sound check just to begin. Make sure everyone can hear me loud and clear. There we go. Right before I even finish that question. Great to see all of us. Jose, Kath, Dale, Michael, great to see you all. Loud and clear from all. Perfect. So let's hop into it, guys. Not a whole lot to talk about going into this afternoon. Market's been pretty stagnant after a big drop off. So, there is plenty to talk about, at least in regards from the morning, at least across from the afternoon. Not a whole lot going on. So Roku we'll start with because it's on the screen. Roku pretty expensive. Me personally, I'm only speaking for myself. I'm probably not going to be trading this going into the afternoon. Debbie says no picture, but the sound is good. So Debbie, that might be on your end to where you might have to just log out, log back in. I'm going to reshare just for all of us inside the trading room, though. There we go. Perfect. All right. So Roku, you should be able to see right now, guys. I'm not going to trade this personally myself going into the afternoon. A little pricey. The only reason I would trade it, well, it's breaking all-time highs. So we ended up seeing Roku come out with news Sunday. It was actually from Friday afternoon. In fact, it was the fact that Roku and NBC Universal reached a deal in regards to Roku's new app. It's called Peacock, and they're going to have all NBC TV. Yes, shows and episodes being streamed across their new app, Peacock. So the news came out actually Sunday from Friday, and we ended up seeing a big jump up after the open for Roku. So at least going into the afternoon, I'm not going to trade this, but for those that do, tend to follow this either as an equity or if you tend to play the option on it, as far as what I could share with you going into this afternoon, it's not even to say $1.50 levels. You're looking at like $5 levels here, like 185 is a really strong support level, at least heading into the close. 190, you could see generally it's been holding underneath 189 even, but I would assume for there to be a very big order on the ask right at $190. The previous all-time high was set back from, the beginning of this month, back September 1st, 185.44. So whether it's 185 or that last peak, it's holding above it right now. Hopefully heading into the final hour of the day, we'll see this breakout higher. So, for the meantime, Roku will just put on our list. I'm going to talk about a few of the other stocks, though, that ended up moving from earlier this morning. Some news came out on a stock that we are pretty familiar with, much cheaper. CleanSpark, CLSK. So news came out on this. This was honestly like right after 9:30. Shortly after the market opened up, this ended up exploding. News came out. It got halted even. So right at 9:35 Eastern time, guys, the news came out. CleanSpark shares move higher. Company commissions software on new microgrid featuring Tesla batteries. Well, I guess the latter two words of that sentence, Tesla batteries, sounds like good news for CleanSpark, perhaps a partnership with Tesla for their batteries. So we ended up seeing a big pop, got halted. When it ended up reopening up, it ended up opening up over 1250 even, but from there, although it did squeeze up higher, nasty shake back down. You could ultimately see the volume bars there on my chart. Once this ended up reopening up right here, volume like dissipated, maybe sans a false breakout right here. It totally dived off, but hey, heading into the afternoon, very strong recovery, right back to where we would want it to be right now at this time of the day. So going into the close, much like the Roku trade, don't mind putting this CleanSpark on our list. I will be much more inclined to trade this just based on the price. The spread is a little wonky. So, you could see it close up to a penny, but then open up to like 6 or 8 cents, kind of like what it's doing here. So check the liquidity on the order book. Aside from the spread going into the afternoon for a stock like this, I mean, we'll see what happens once we finish this meeting, that is, but looks like there was kind of just a scattered batch of volume filled across this afternoon, around 127, 130, 140. There wasn't really any big point of resistance here where we saw a huge iceberg order get filled, and from there it bounced sharply. There is a level where it bounced sharply from, and that's where you would assume for there to be an iceberg order, but there wasn't. Right off 1350. You can see 1350 on the chart is holding pretty clean here. So, well, no pun intended, CleanSpark holding pretty clean of 1350. Going into the afternoon, again, like I said, I'll be more inclined to trade this at least just given the price. That's the level to watch, though, it seems like here, 1350. All right, then finally, last one, at least from this morning, to recap in relation to the news that came out. I mean, it's almost like every day we're seeing major news come out on Nikola, as big of news as you could find. So their CEO, who is having a bunch of bad reports against him, allegations, so to say. Trevor Milton, former now CEO of Nikola, ended up stepping down this morning, or at least over the weekend. The Benzinga news headline came in at like 1 o'clock in the morning. So my guess is that we ended up seeing that news come out probably from Sunday or going into the weekend. But yeah, the news that came out, Trevor Milton, now former CEO of Nikola Motors, now officially resigning amid all these allegations. Man, Nikola was down, well, pretty much a lot more than where it is right now going into the pre-market. Dove down all the way to a pre-market low of 26 and spiked up. So for what it's worth, into the afternoon, very active and still on its way down. If you can get the shares to short Nikola, that would be the better play as far as trend. But, hey, we'll just put this on our list for both ways in case if this ends up finding more support off 27, popping through 27.50, and perhaps from there we'll see more short covering. If that were to be the case. If it doesn't do that, then I would only expect this to free fall more. I say that just because after the market opened up today, for as much as this dropped, we saw short covering out of the gate, popped pretty nicely, broke over its opening bell print. So 25 was the opening bell print this morning. Took a few minutes, but that was the key level to watch going into the morning. All right, so again, 3 stocks that we just went over from this morning. All 3 we're actually going to put on our list going into the afternoon, and we'll see where they take us. All right, so what we'll do, guys, as tradition, we'll go from top to bottom. You got a stock up 7,500% today. DEN, I have no idea what the hell this is about. Was an IPO? It's not really showing any sort of data on the daily chart here. That's pretty odd. You know what? I'm not even going to waste my time trying to figure it out because it just seems untradeable. 871,000 shares, but a huge spread, very small orders on the books, so it's just not even worth it. My guess would be a reverse split, but with there being no data shown on the daily chart, that's a little weird. Oh, Pat says in the chat board here, so I guess that could explain it. Well, I guess it definitely does. Pat says it came out of bankruptcy. The company DEN, I guess they came out of bankruptcy, so they were relisted. It's weird, though. I didn't see anything on the daily chart there. Now, going down the list, though, guys, ZOM, same thing. I mean, super cheap stock, up big. I don't know if it's a buyout, but not worth the time. Not even worth the energy. This Cub trade, pretty interesting, though. Cubic Corp popped right at 9:30 from 50. I guess all the way up towards just about 61, 11-point jump up. Big spread. I would say the stock, the volume it's trading per minute, really not terrible, but the liquidity on the order book is really bad. Pretty expensive, too. I'm not as inclined to trade this. All right, CRDF, which, hold on. Oh, okay, so I apologize, guys. This is where my trader's dyslexia comes into play here. You got number 4, CRMD. Look at this thing go. Wow. Okay, I was going to jump to CRDF here. CRMD. I'm going to get those mixed up pretty badly here. So CRMD, nice pop going into the afternoon. Pretty low volume. I thought someone, that's right, Lori inside our trading room. That's what made me kind of stop in my tracks there. Lori inside our trading room just called this out right as I was beginning the meeting. So fantastic call from Lori, still at the highs right now. The spread and liquidity definitely check out here. It also is, well, it's hard to borrow. Check to see if you can get the shares to short in case if this is a total false move and this comes back down just in case. But for right now, marching on the way up towards 6. Let's see, anything on the order book here right now as this whole number is about to get tested up right here at 598. 18K seller on the ask. 598, and then from there you would say it's 6 to be their major level here. I want to see if it just bursts right through it. Good timing, Lori. Very nice call. All right, so CRMD. Let me put this on our list before I move on. I'm going to make sure I type this a little spaced out away from this one here. CRDF. Very similar. CRDF, this one was the bigger mover that we called out after the open. So from 9 all the way up, steady trend towards 11. 2-point jump up, pulled back down with that in mind. Beautiful trend. So as much as this moved up, got to expect for it to pull back or drop off at some point right around 10 o'clock, 10:15. We saw that happen. But obviously since has made a nice recovery, squeezed up over and under 11. You can see the big volume spike that came in right here, and since trying to get back up there. So yeah, going into the afternoon, CRDF looking pretty interesting too. Don't get them confused. CRMD, CRDF. All right, cool. Let me jump back to, what was that other one? CRMD. Oh, it's right there. Perfect timing. 13K seller at 6. 14K now. Ah, there we go. I knew it. All right, that was perfect timing. I knew if I stepped away from this, this would have like tested it and tanked or bursted right out, missed the move. So at least, yeah, we're seeing now not just at 598, also at $6, you know, 14, 15,000 share order on the S there too. All right, cool. Maybe I'll come back to this at the end just to see, but obviously it's on our list for the meantime. So what else do we have here, folks? Roku expensive on our list, breaking all-time highs. CLSK already on our list. Bunch of crap. I mean that really not to sound too blunt. Really like just quote-unquote penny stocks. You know, probably some ETF symbols up there. Just bunch of crap on the gainer side here to begin. JKS, if I'm not mistaken, Nordstrom. No. I'm sorry. Jinko Solar. Okay, not Nordstrom Rack. I'm thinking a different symbol. Once again, my trader's dyslexia kicking in. Nice trend, though. Wow, this is pushing up beautifully. Not necessarily a level 1 stock. You know, the spread is a little, you know, wonky up and down there a bit, but, you know, it checks out. This looks really interesting going into the close. I want to see if this is approaching all-time highs here or if this is just like a 52-week high. Yeah, not all-time highs, but hey, approaching 52-week high. It looks like that was a pretty strong top. There we go. Let's see what we have here. Back from, I can use my right hand here. Let's see. 28.76, the high back from February 12th. That's the 52-week high. 28.76, that is. Up 28.84. My apologies. Right there, that peak. So still has a little ways to go, and then that's not even to say that's going to be the true resistance. 27.50 is ahead. After that, you have 28. So there's going to be a couple of orders on the S to work with for this JKS trade. Pretty interesting, though. Nice run. Super League Gaming, SLGG, one that we're pretty familiar with off these like pump and dumps, and needless to be said today, same thing. Nice call out at the time, but died off quick. All right. Yeah, guys, I'm not expecting a whole lot else out there on the gainer side. Maybe just to go through these last two. PIIX, familiar name. Stock on the daily chart has been running up since pretty much the end of July, all the way through. So it's hard to not put this on our list. This is looking pretty interesting. Still trading about 10,000 shares per minute. Spreads tight, liquid order book, order on the ask here, resistance at the high of the day, 17,000 share order on the ask. It looks a little slow. That's my only little gripe with it, but looking pretty interesting still. PEIX. And then I guess if I check out VXRT, we got to check out all the others too. So VXRT ended up making a nice run after the open, popped from right around 780-ish all the way up towards the high of the day, 925. I guess it's trying to coil back up there right now. You can see it's been slowly moving off that 850, 860 level, and now trying to hold underneath 9 or make that push over perhaps. Inovio, INO, check out this one here first, pulling back down quite a bit. Sorrento SRNE ended up making more of an afternoon move, this stock. Perhaps we can check this out at the end. And then CODX, just kind of patchy with volume, inconsistent. All right, so maybe I will put VXRT on the list at the very end. Not really chomping at the bit on it right now, though. Let's see if there's anything else on the loser's end here that looks just as good, if not better. Bunch of stuff that is shortable, so at least check these out. TGI, low of the day, down 23%. Tight spread, liquid order book. So I like to see all of that. Broke down below, actually, a lot of volume right off 715. Look at this. You could even see 716, a lot of volume filled, likely from congestion or consolidation. But 715, 20K print, a bunch more coming in right off that iceberg that got filled. So it looks like we just ended up seeing this break below a support, 715. Nice setup. Next major level on the way down is 7. So for right now, I'll put this on our list still. See if this breaks lower or pulls back to 7, and we'll see how it reacts from there. All right. Let's see. Anything else here, folks? Familiar names? Anything else that's shortable? THC, not a pot stock. Tenant Healthcare. We ended up. I always like to make that joke. We ended up seeing THC drop off today, down over 14% right now. I mean, it's really flat. Volume totally died off there too. All right, guys. I don't see much else on the losers end here even. If there's anything else that's up or down 5% or more, let me know. I mean, we'll jump back to the cruise lines, the airlines, the entertainment stocks, all of those. But if there's anything else that's moving now, or that is something I just jumped over or jumped through pretty quick, let me know. NCLH on the way down, perhaps with the Dow right now. The Dow is beginning to push a little bit lower highs off the trend from 130. So NCLH is pulling down, or actually just broke below an order on the bid at 15. It's tradable, down over 7%. I think the bigger news, I mean, it was with the cruise lines altogether, but I didn't see NCLH as part of the direct headline. I saw it more relate to Carnival and with CCL. They're all moving the same, but I know that they laid off like thousands of employees each. CCL and Royal Caribbean Cruise also. That's the news headline that came out early this morning. All right, so I wouldn't mind just putting the cruise stocks on our list, much like Fausto did earlier this morning. I made a lot of money on NCLH today. Not to say a whole lot, but made my days pay and some, treated me well. I wouldn't mind putting these on at the end. I want to check out the airlines moving pretty much with the market on the way down. We were calling out AAL earlier. Could be a nice level 1 to 2 stock. Penn National Gaming diving off pretty nicely here. Pretty active after breaking all-time highs. A lot of interest on that stock of late. Workhorse. We'll jump to Workhorse here pretty quick here as well. Sideless stock. Pulling back after breaking all-time highs Friday, and even from this morning spiked up there in pre-market, but pulling back a bit here. This one is shortable. So honestly, I don't mind adding this just on the end, just given the volatility, given the range that this stock has made across the last week. To see this stock explode from 20 all the way to 30. When's this going to pull back? We'll pull back this morning, but there still could be a lot more room. So I don't mind adding WKHS to our main list, just given that. All right, guys, from Michael, TCS. Yeah, I was looking at that. I just skipped over it really fast. It doesn't look like it's going anywhere. I don't want to watch the paint dry here. AKBA from Leda. Not up 5% or more, but I understand why she had called it out, right? Just popped off of volume and perhaps off of news right now, Leda. So that's pretty interesting. I remember AKBA, and I say that as I'm looking at my other monitor here, but I look up on the daily chart right now with you guys. And yeah, you better remember AKBA. It was one of those like 3 or 4 stocks this past month that came out with like bad news regarding one of their phase 2, phase 3 trials. They dropped off like 75%. I guess a little bit of a short squeeze here. Shorts covering for this to potentially squeeze a bit higher. I don't mind putting this on our list later. Good call. I hope it ends up moving today. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't, though. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up kind of just falling off where it is here, and then maybe tomorrow we'll see that make the bigger move up. I hope I'm wrong. I hope it just pops today, but don't be surprised. Don't get your hopes up otherwise. But great stock to keep in mind this afternoon, though. Really. Let's see what else do we have, guys. From Grant, CRMG. No. What was it was another. I know what you're talking about, Grant. Was it GRWG? Was this the one? I think this may have been the one, Grant. This one is up 3% now, dropped off quite a bit from earlier this morning. So for as much as this squeezed up, pulling back down now, I would say if it was near the highs, if it crapped out, it is shortable. So that would have been the opportunity. I just feel like it pulled back enough to where it might just exhaust out. So great reminder. I'll keep this on the side for this week. Very volatile stock over the past month and a half, perhaps. Oh, how about this? I got one at the buzzer for us here. Just looking at my Benzinga Pro right now. Got a pop. CLVS. It's not even looking that great. Benzinga Pro just alerted me of the new high of the day. Actually, that signal was right from 2:27 Eastern time. So from the pop, new high, but since just Nothing. So, yeah, I'm going to pass on the CLVS. Grant says no, not the GRWG. He corrected himself, though, and he said CRMD. That's what he meant. There we go, Grant. So CRMD is already on our list. This one is already on our list, not to be confused with CRDF. Both on our list. I'm going to space them out from one another so none of us get confused. But yeah, CRDM or CRMD and CRDF. I told you, I already mixed that up. All right, guys. So with that in mind, I think that we have a pretty good list heading into this Monday afternoon. I'll be honest. I mean, perhaps aside from triple witching Friday and seeing the market down big, I wasn't really expecting a whole lot as far as like news coming out, earnings, et cetera, et cetera. So we had a pretty good start to this week. Really nice morning so far, guys. Let's try and keep the momentum rolling into this afternoon. For all of us tuning in on social media, guys, as always, as we like to say, if you'd like to learn more about Cyber Trading University, first and foremost, make sure that you guys like, subscribe, notify yourself right on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/cybertradingu. As always, though, feel more than free to join us heading into this final hour of the day here, right inside Cyber Group. I'm going to take a small break from the audio commentary, folks, for all of us here. I'll hop back on right at 3:30, taking us into the final 30 minutes. I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.